Okay, welcome back to another lesson in our Nmap series. And from our previous lesson, we learned how to install VirtualBox and OWASP, which will be our controlled environment where we'll be executing our scans. Right, so this is me running my virtual machine, my BOA virtual machine, and I just saved the session, so I'm continuing from where I stopped. Right, so we were made to understand. I made us understand that this is the IP address we'll be using as our target. Right, so for this video, we'll be learning the different sections in Nmap. Right, we'll be looking at the different sections in Nmap, and then we'll run a few scans. So this is Nmap, and we can look at man Nmap. Right, you go through this and then it helps you see, you understand things better. So you want to read through any of the scanning techniques before you scan. This is also another provision for that. So I'll be looking at the first section. Let me open another terminal. The first section, which is targets specification, right? I won't be exhausting everything, but I'll be introducing us to what it is. So, from our very first lesson, if you didn't watch it, although it was long, I would actually recommend that you go back and you watch it and make sure you understand, because that is prerequisite to your understanding subsequent modules. Right, so for target specification, our possible targets could be host names, IP addresses, networks, right? So, but for this series, we'll be using IP addresses, right? Because the IP address of our virtual machine is what we'll be using. So it's going to be an IP address. Okay, so in target specification, you can scan your targets like this by default. Nmap 192.168.6.102. By default, this is the default Nmap scan technique, right? Now, you've probably seen me use the dash VV option. You could use it as one, you could increase it. The V in dash V means verbals, right? So you're telling Nmap to, while you're conducting these scans, I want you to tell me in detail what you are doing, right? So if you don't use this, Nmap is just going to execute and give you the output straight up, right? But when you use this, let's use one, you see the output here is longer than what was in the first. So Nmap tells you, okay, I'm initiating ping scan by this time, I'm scanning this, I've completed the ping scan, I'm initiating this, in detail. So you want to know what Nmap is doing in real time. But if you want to save yourself the stress of going through, you can just run your command straight up without the dash V option. So the more V's you include, the more detailed Nmap is. So you use more of this, you get more details, more of the V, you get more details. Right? So that is the first target specification option you can use. You can specify your target by default by just giving Nmap your target like this. Another way is you do Nmap, right? You put your list of your targets and you separate them with a comma, right? Then you put another target, you put another target like that. Another way is you use the CIDR notation where you use /24, right? So you're telling Nmap to scan, all of these IP addresses, and then Nmap is going to scan that for you. Now, if your virtual machine is not running, there is nothing you're going to execute here on Nmap with this target that's going to work. So ensure that your virtual machine is running and is working well, right? No problems, and you're using the host only adapter, right? So this is it. So I'm going to cut it. You can run it at your own end, right, to see the feedback. Now, for the main thing I wanted to talk about today is the dash L option. Now, dash L option is an argument in Nmap that allows you to specify your targets in a file. So you have a file that has a list of your targets, just like you could have a file with a list of passwords. For this one, you have a file with a list of your targets. So dash L, then you input your file name. So you see it say inputs from lists of hosts or networks. Right. So let's move to the terminal and then we create a new file. Let's call it targets.txt. Right. So and then our first target 192.168.58.102, right? Our second target will be 192.168.58.01. Sorry, one. 192.168.58.2, 192.168.58.206, something like this, right? So you escape and then you save your file, right? So we now execute nmap dash. Now, if you do nmap and you just do targets.txt, you see, I'm clicking the tab, but nothing is coming up because Nmap cannot recognize it. So you see, fail to resolve target.txt. That's because you did not include the dash IL argument that allows Nmap to understand that, okay, these are my targets, but they are in a file. So for you to actually access those targets, you need to do nmap dash IL, right? Now you dash IL is saying, okay, I'm going to signify my target to you. I'm going to signify my target to you, right? Nmap dash IL, and then this is the file. So you see when I click on tab, it automatically fetched me. So let's use dash V option, and then it will scan all of those targets for us. So you see, it's telling us that Nmaps can report for this. Post is down, receive no response. So it was able to access all those targets we gave we gave to Nmap, right? Now, what you can do, okay, so it was able to access all of that. And then now from that file, you can actually exclude your targets. So from that very file, you can tell Nmap, okay, this is the file, but I actually want you to exclude this for me. So we have this, so we do dash dash exclude, let's see, 192.168.58.102. So Nmap will perform the scan, right? So you see Nmap done 3 IP addresses. So it was only 3 IP addresses because we excluded one target. We told Nmap not to touch this very target, and that was the output we got. So this is how you can use the dash IL option, right? You can use the dash IL option to signify, to tell Nmap that your targets are in a file, right? And this is actually what you want Nmap to do for you with those targets. So with this, I suppose you can practice at your own end. You encounter any problems, any issues, please reach out and drop your problems on the comment section.